Topics regarding the Turkish fighter aircraft development program between the Turkish Aerospace Industries Incorporated and the BAE Systems. We would like to invite the President and CEO of TUSAŞ PhD, Mr. Temel Kotil, and CEO of BAE Systems, Mr. Ian King. Şimdi Birleşik Krallık ve Türkiye Cumhuriyeti arasında 2017 Havacılık Güvenliği İşbirliği Programı için Sivil Havacılık Genel Müdür Vekili Sayın Bahri Kesici ve Birleşik Krallık Türkiye Büyükelçisi Sayın Richard Moore'u davet ediyoruz. And for the 2017 Aviation Security Engagement Program between the Republic of Turkey and the United Kingdom, we would like to invite the Acting Director General of Civil Aviation, Mr. Bahri Kesici, and the Ambassador of the United Kingdom to the Republic of Turkey, Mr. Richard Moore.
Thank you very much for all your support.
Tüm tarafları tebrik ediyoruz. Şimdi ortak basın toplantısına başlayacağız. We congratulate all the parties and we'd like to begin the press conference.
Evet. Sayın Başbakan, Sayın Theresa May, hanımefendi, değerli dostlar, değerli basın mensupları, hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. Birleşik Krallık Başbakanı Bayan Theresa May ülkemize resmi ziyaretini gerçekleştirmiş bulunuyor. Kendisini ve heyetini Türkiye'de, Ankara'da ağırlamaktan memnuniyet duyuyoruz. Sayın May ile ikili ilişkilerimizi etraflıca görüşme, konuşma fırsatı bulduk. Başta güvenlik olmak üzere ekonomi alanında mevcut işbirliğini daha da nasıl geliştiririz? Bu konularda kapsamlı görüşmeler yaptık ve her iki taraf olarak ortak iradenin mevcut olduğunu teyit ettik. Esasında bu iradenin somutlaştırılmasında 2010 yılında Türkiye ile Birleşik Krallık arasında stratejik ortaklık kurulması
has thrown the necessary framework in order to make this intention concrete, and this document will be a guiding one for making this intention concrete. Turkish and British economies are integrated economies, and they are two countries which are allies with intertwined national securities. Therefore, our strategic partnership has already a strong foundation. With the Prime Minister's visit, this partnership
günümüzde yaşanan şartları, bölgesel olayları da
be rendered a more comprehensive one, both bilaterally and globally, in face of today's challenges and opportunities. So, Madam Prime Minister's visit once more confirmed this intention of both sides. In our meetings, we have once more confirmed our objective to further our cooperation in the defense industry. And we have a minute ago signed the relevant agreement in order to develop a national fighter jet between TAI and BAE. So a framework agreement has been signed to this end. Thanks to this agreement, both companies will develop a new fighter jet. They are going to work on this new project. Technology and information exchange will be ensured. Capacity building, human resources improvement will be thus ensured in a mutual manner. This project called TFX is a project supported by the Republic of Turkey and the United Kingdom. It is a very important project in the defense industry, in the defense sector. This will, I think, further the power of both countries. It's an important area of cooperation. Moreover, terrorism is one of the most important threats nowadays. And when this is taken into account, the security of airports and detecting the people at those airports, whether they're affiliated with a terrorist organization or not, and the fact that the necessary security precautions are taken at the airports, we have agreed to make sure that the civil aviation authorities of both countries will work together to ensure this, and there will be certain exercises realized in 2017 to ensure this. So anyone going to UK or coming to Turkey will have even safer travel trips.
Sayın Başbakan May,
Madam
bugün
Prime Minister,
gerçekleştirdiğimiz temaslarda da hükümete
we have
bize yönelik
realized certain
desteğini
meetings today,
bir kez
and
daha
in
dile
those
getirdi.
meetings, Madam Prime Minister once
Nedir
more
bu destek?
confirmed her support
Bu
to the
destek,
government.
birinci
By
olarak
that I mean,
15
first and
Temmuz'da
foremost,
ülkemizde
you know that
yaşadığımız
we have experienced
hain darbe
a treacherous
girişimi
coup attempt
ve
on
bu
July
darbe
15th,
girişiminin hemen
and
arkasından
right in the aftermath of
Birleşik
this coup
Krallığı
attempt,
açık bir
United
şekilde
Kingdom had a very open
Türkiye'de
stance, and
demokrasiden yana,
she showed
milli
her
iradeden yana
allegiance
ortaya
with the
koyduğu net tavır,
national will,
gerek
with democracy,
Sayın Büyükelçi ve gerek Birleşik
His
Krallık
Excellency Mr. Ambassador of United Kingdom to
üst düzey
Turkey and the
yetkilileri
British government,
bu konuda
top authorities of the British
dayanışmasını,
government
Türkiye'ye olan desteğini
once more
anında
was shown
göstermiş.
to Turkey. Actually, right in the aftermath of July 15th, they were very clear in their stance with their support to Turkey, and this, of course, was highly welcomed by the Turkish people. So once more, I would like to extend my gratitude for their support. Moreover, our countries fight against Daesh, YPG, the HKP, CPYD, and we know this fight we have. Well, each and every day there is a new terrorist organization emanating with a new abbreviation. I mean, it's like putting on new clothes. I mean, no matter what kind of an abbreviation they have, what kind of a title they have, they are acting activities remain the same, and we had the opportunity to tell about our fight against these terrorist organizations, both in Iraq, in Syria, in the region. Turkey will continue her fight against Daesh, and we also reiterated the fact that we need more cooperation in this field, and we have agreed to do that. Distinguished members of the press, amongst certain issues that we discussed, this coup attempt of July 15th and the real actor behind this coup attempt was Fethullah Gülen and the Fethullah Gülen terrorist organization. And Fethullah Gülen terrorist organization also has certain activities in UK as well. And we also had the occasion to communicate to Madam Prime Minister about those activities and the offshoots of these terrorist organization needs to be tackled and the necessary actions should be taken. This is what we have kindly asked from Madam Prime Minister. Moreover, we also elaborated on the issue of Cyprus, question of Cyprus. We exchanged ideas. You know that
bir çözüm arayışı bütün hızıyla devam ediyor. Bizim de arzumuz Kıbrıs'ta bir çözüme
negotiations, Cyprus talks, and of course we also want to settle the question of Cyprus, but that solution, that settlement needs to be fair, meeting the needs of both communities, and it should be fair and lasting. So
Birleşik Krallık ve Türkiye
United Kingdom and Turkey are guarantor countries, and we will be pleased in the end out of all those endeavors. Of course, it is very important that we make this a lasting settlement, and the Turkish Cypriots living there and the Greek Cypriots living there needs to be secured, and the experiences of past should not be repeated, so we should not create such an environment. So securities and guarantees needs to be there.
Paylaşma fırsatı bulduk.
That's what we communicated to Madam Prime Minister. In the region, in Syria, in Iraq, there is lack of authority, and due to that, there are certain terrorist activities, and cooperation to fight against those terrorist activities is a must, and all relevant countries should gather in our attempt to fight against this. These terrorist organizations, and we should put an end to atrocities, to death, and refugees is not an issue of only one single country, but it is an issue for which all countries are responsible, and Turkey has assumed certain responsibility in this respect, and burden sharing is a must, and to the extent of the powers and capacities of each country can have.
İngiltere, Birleşik Krallık, Avrupa Birliği'nden bir referandumla çıkma
kararı aldı. In the aftermath of a referendum, United Kingdom decided to leave the European Union, and
Sayın Başbakan'ın önündeki en önemli konulardan biri.
One of the most important agenda items in front of Madam Prime Minister is this, to take the necessary steps to ensure that within this framework, the relations between the UK and Turkey will be developed independently of the European Union, and we are going to initiate such an activity. This activity will be coordinated simultaneously with Brexit, and after Brexit is realized, hopefully we're going to
imzalanması için ilgili bakanlar karşılıklı olarak
engaged in a joint effort with relevant ministries to conclude a free trade agreement between Turkey and the United Kingdom. So in this framework, JETCO has already started their meetings, and in the upcoming days those meetings will
İngiltere-Türkiye arasındaki ilişkiler sadece ticaretin 16
The
milyardan
relations
20
between
milyara
Turkey
çıkarılmasıyla sınırlı değil.
and Turkey is not only limited
Bundan
to
çok daha
increasing the
fazla.
trade volume
İki
from
ülkenin
16 billion to
nüfusunu,
20
iki
billion.
ülkenin
We have more
imkanlarını
potential
ve
than
Türkiye'nin
this. I mean,
civarındaki
the
coğrafyayı
opportunities
düşündüğümüz
of
zaman
both countries and
çok
thinking
daha
of the
büyük
geography that Turkey is
hacimlerde
in, we should
ekonomik
be engaged
işbirliği
in
fırsatları var,
economic
yatırım
ties
fırsatları
with
var.
even greater
Üçüncü
volumes. We have
ülkelerde
very important
müşterek
economic
yapılabilecek
opportunities,
çok iş
investment
var.
opportunities. Also,
Bütün
there are
bunları Sayın
many opportunities
Başbakan'la
of joint
konuşma
investment in
fırsatı
third
bulduk.
countries. We
Ve
also
aynı düşüncelere
tackled
sahip
those issues,
olduğumuzu
and we once more
memnuniyetle
confirmed
gördük.
that we are on the same page with
Doğrusu
Madam Prime Minister on these issues as well.
menşeli 3000'e yakın
We have
Türkiye'de şirket var.
approximately 3,000 British companies
Türkiye'nin ekonomisine
operating in
katkı
Turkey,
sağlıyor,
and they are
istihdamına
contributing
katkı
to the
sağlıyor.
employment
Biz
in
onları
Turkey.
kendi
They're
şirketlerimiz
contributing
olarak
to the
görüyoruz ve
economy
biliyoruz.
in
Her
Turkey.
türlü
We
desteği de
see them
veriyoruz.
as
Benzer
one of
şekilde,
ours, and we give
bizim
utmost importance to them.
firmalarımızın İngiltere'de yatırımları var.
And we also have
Bunların
investments
sayısını daha da
in the UK,
arttırmayı
and it is
arzu
our
ediyoruz.
aim to
Gerçi
increase their
Kısa
number.
vadede 20 milyar dolar
We have
karşılıklı
this
ticaret hedefi koyduk
an
ama
objective of
zaten
20
16
billion US
milyarı
dollar of
bulmuş
trade
durumda.
volume, but already the
Eminim
trade
ki
volume
kısa
is
sürede
16 billion
bu
US
hedefi
dollars. So I
büyütme
believe that
ihtiyacı
in a
doğacak.
very short period of time, we should
Bunun
be
için de
revisiting this
biraz
target
daha
we set.
fazla gayret
And
göstermemiz
to this
gerekiyor.
end, I think we should put into more effort to this.
Bu düşüncelerle
So,
tekrar Sayın Başbakan'a
as
ve
I come to my
heyetine
closing remarks,
bir
I
kez
would
daha
like
hoş
to once
geldiniz
more
diyorum.
say welcome
Ve
to Madam Prime Minister
size
and her
bırakıyorum.
delegation, and you have the floor, Madam.
Thank you very much. And I'm pleased to be here in Turkey today and to be able to meet Prime Minister Yildrim and President Erdogan just one day after meeting the new US President Donald Trump in Washington. The relationship between Turkey and the United Kingdom has always been important, but it is arguably even more vital today. For Turkey sits on the front line of some of the most difficult and serious challenges we face. This relationship is central to our capacity to tackle the terrorist threat to the UK. Turkey already does a huge amount to disrupt the threat posed to our countries by terrorists, including foreign fighters leaving Syria. And today we've agreed to strengthen our cooperation on security through a new strategic security partnership. This will help our two governments and security services to work even more closely together in important areas such as intelligence sharing, aviation security, and domestic security. This partnership will help Turkey as it grapples with the threat posed by heightened terrorist attacks in this country. We should never forget that in the last 18 months, over 1,500 Turkish civilians and security personnel have been killed by terrorist attacks. Crucially, it will also help to protect the 1.7 million British tourists who travel to Turkey from the UK every year. It is therefore a vital new partnership for us both. We've also discussed a number of other important regional security issues today, including Syria, where we're working together to fight Daesh and create the conditions for peace. The challenge of mass migration, where I pay tribute to Turkey's generosity in hosting more than 3 million refugees from surrounding countries, and where the United Kingdom is committed to doing all it can to help. And Cyprus, where we are both committed to playing our full part in an effort to secure an early agreement. Finally, I'm delighted that we have today been able to mark the signing of a new agreement between TAI and the British business BAE Systems that will see the companies collaborating on the pre-design phase of Turkey's new fighter jet, the TFX. This is more than a trade deal. It is the start of a deep defence partnership that will contribute to our overall security. At the same time, we are today announcing a new and unique government-to-government agreement between Turkey and the United Kingdom that sets a new framework for cooperation and dialogue between our governments, including the defence ministries and air forces. And we've also agreed to establish a trade working group to explore ways in which we can improve Turkish-UK trade. These initiatives stand as concrete commitments to a strengthened relationship between us, which will help to ensure the continued security and prosperity of both Turkey and the UK. This is the first opportunity I've had to visit Turkey since the attempted coup of the 15th of July last year. On that day, the UK was clear that we supported those who stood up for this important democracy and its institutions. And we continue to hope that the values you stood for on that day will guide you in the months and years ahead. So I would like to thank Prime Minister Yildrim for giving up his time today so that we might discuss these important issues. On each one, Turkey is demonstrating its determination to live up to its historic role as a regional power and its significance as a key member of the NATO alliance. I look forward to building on the commitments we've made today in order to strengthen the cooperation between our two nations in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. We may have some questions.
Yes, shall I take one from the British, British press first? Who's got Faisal?
Prime Minister, Prime Minister Yildrim first, Mr. Prime Minister. Turkey has hosted more refugees than any other country. I wondered, as the Prime Minister of a Muslim-majority country, what you felt about a fellow NATO nation banning refugees and banning people from 7 fellow Muslim-majority countries. And to you, Prime Minister, yesterday you said you shared the values of Donald Trump, you held his hand. Moments later, he banned refugees in this way. Do you still think these are the actions of the leader of the free world?
Well, I was very pleased to visit Washington and to hold the discussions I did with President Trump yesterday. On the issue of refugees, I think that I've recognised in the comments I've just made the significant contribution that Turkey has made in hosting and supporting 3 million refugees as a result of the Syrian conflict. The United Kingdom, I think, has also a good record in this, in that we have developed a number of schemes for resettlement, particularly of some of the most vulnerable refugees from the region into the United Kingdom. But crucially, we've also taken the view that we should give significant support to refugees in those countries who are supporting them, where they have been displaced from Syria. That's why the United Kingdom is the second largest bilateral donor outside of the region in terms of the amount of money that we have put into this issue and dealing with this humanitarian problem that has been developed. Prime Minister.
Evet, şimdi tabii bu mülteci meselesi
This refugee
küresel bir
issue
konu.
is a global issue.
Yani şu anda mülteci konumunda 55
We
milyon
have
insan var
55
dünyada.
million refugees worldwide
Dünyadaki
at the
Birleşmiş
moment.
Milletler'e üye ülkelerin
And
sayısı
this,
200 civarında.
we know that
150'sinden
United
daha
Nations
fazla
member
nüfusa
state is
sahip.
200, and
Dolayısıyla
this
bu
number
sorunu
is higher than
yok
the
sayamayız,
population of 150
görmezden
member
gelemeyiz.
states of the United Nations.
Duvarları
So
da
we
yükselterek
cannot
bu
turn a
işi
blind eye
çözemeyiz.
to this issue, and you
Bu
cannot
işin
settle this
çözümü
issue by
daha fazla
constructing
işbirliği,
walls. The
sorun
key
olan
to settle this
bölgelerdeki
issue is
sorunu
more
çözmek
cooperation
için daha
and
fazla
to
irade.
end the problems in those
Kimse
areas where you
durup
have
dururken
problems. So you need to
evinden,
have
barkından,
more
vatanından
decisiveness, more will.
uzaklaşmaz.
I mean, nobody
İnsanlar
leaves
canlarını
their
kurtarmak için geliyorlar.
homes for
Biz
nothing.
kapılarımızı açtık.
They came here
Sonuna
to
kadar
save
açtık.
their lives. And
Yine
our
gelirse
doors
yine
were
alacağız.
open, and if the same
Çünkü
thing
bizim
is to
inancımız,
happen
bizim
again,
kültürümüz,
we would do it
bizim
again,
değerlerimiz
because
bize
this
böyle
is what
söylüyor.
our values,
İnsanlar
our
yardıma
culture,
ihtiyacı
our
varsa
tradition
mutlaka
taught us.
yardım edeceksiniz.
If there is someone
İnsan
in need, you
hayatından
need
daha
to give
kutsal
him
bir
a
şey yok.
helping hand.
İnsanların hayatını
This is the
kurtarmak,
most
onların
holy, sacred
hayata
thing, to
tutunmalarını
save
sağlamak
a
en
life,
büyük
to make
insanlık
sure that
görevidir.
they survive. This is one of the most important humanitarian
Yardım geliyor mu?
duty that we have.
Çok zayıf.
What about
Yani
assistance?
biz 26 milyar dolar
is
bugüne kadar
quite
harcamamız olmuş kendi
insignificant. We have
bütçemizden.
spent approximately
Gelen
26 billion
toplam
US dollars so
yardım
far,
tutarı
and we only
milyon
received
dolar
700
civarında.
million US dollars.
Yardım gelse de gelmese de
Well,
biz
independent of any
işi
assistance coming
yapmaya
to
devam
us,
edeceğiz.
we
Bu
will
insanlara
continue
ev
what we
sahipliği
have
yapmaya
been
devam
doing. We will
edeceğiz.
continue
Ta ki
accommodating these
oralarda
people
barış, huzur
until there is peace
oluşacak.
there.
Nitekim şimdi Fırat Kalkanı
And
operasyonuyla
with this
2000
Euphrates Shield
metrekarelik alanda
operation, on an area of
temizledik
2,000 square meter, we
Türkiye'deki
were able to clean that area
göçmenlerin
off
bir
Daesh,
kısmı,
and
40
some
bin,
refugees in
45
Turkey,
bin
approximately
kadarı tekrar
45,000
döndüler,
of them,
köylerine,
returned
evlerine
to their
yerleştiler,
homes, and they
tekrar hayata
are
tutunmaya başladılar.
resettled in their
Bunun
homes, in
aslında
their
bütün
villages.
Suriye'de, bütün Irak'ta olması lazım.
This is what
Bunu
should
nasıl
happen
sağlayacağız? Bir
in
kere
Iraq and
DAEŞ'ı
Syria.
oradan tamamen
But how are we going to do
yok
this?
edeceğiz.
First and foremost, we should eradicate
YPG'yi,
Daesh of that
PYD'yi,
soil.
bunlar
YPG,
PKK'yla aynı.
PYD, they are all the
İsimleri
same as
farklı olabilir
PKK,
ama
though they might
bunları,
have different
bu
names,
terör
different
örgütlerini
abbreviations,
bölgeden
but we
temizleyeceğiz.
should clean
Ve
the
burada
area of
Suriye'de
those
siyasi
terrorist
çözüm,
organizations,
kalıcı
and we should
barış
have a political
sağlanacak.
solution,
DAEŞ'ten
a
Irak
lasting
temizlenince
peace in Syria,
oralarda da
and
huzur
once
gelecek
Iraq
ve
is also
böylece
cleaned off
insanlar
Daesh, and then
evlerine
peace will
dönecekler.
be instilled, and so everybody
Bölgesel
can go back to their
anlaşmazlıkları,
homes.
sorunları
Regional disputes,
çözmek,
regional conflicts
oradaki
need to be
sorunlardan
settled.
kaçanlara kapıları kapatmakla olmuyor.
I mean, you
Neticede
cannot close doors
oralara
who
daha
fled
fazla
those regions
uluslararası
of
camianın,
problems. I mean,
Birleşmiş Milletler'in
and the international community, the
bütün
United
ülkelerin
Nations, and all
daha fazla
countries
gayret gösterip
should put more
sorunlar
effort into
büyümeden
this and
çözüm
should
üretmeleri
solve those
esas olandır.
problems
Bu
before
konuda
problems
biz
getting even
uluslararası
more
camiadan,
complicated.
dostlarımızdan
So
şunu bekliyoruz.
this is what we expect from the international
Türkiye'nin
community, from our
yükünün
friends abroad,
hafiflemesi
to
için daha fazla ellerini
ease the
taşın
burden
altına
of
koysunlar.
Turkey, so that they should put their
Takdir
hands
etmelerini
under
takdir
the
ediyoruz ama yetmez.
rock as well. I mean, they appreciate
almalarını da
us, but the
bekliyoruz.
appreciation is not enough. They should take a bit of our burden
Teşekkür
as
ederim.
well. Thank you.
Başka?
Any other question?
Shall I, Caroline, did you?
Caroline Wheeler
Two
from Sunday
each.
Express.
You have two now.
Can I ask both Prime Ministers, just to return to Faisal's question there, could you just give your comments, please, on what you make of President Trump's decision overnight to ban refugees? If I could ask that to both of you. And also to my question, Prime Minister, could you ask, what do you think of Brexit? President Trump has said that he thinks it's a wonderful thing for us, and I wonder whether or not you would be rather be within the customs union or outside it. And Mrs May, just to you, human rights organisations at home have raised concerns about human rights abuses in Turkey. Do you think it's enough to just raise this as an issue with the President here today? And also, is there a risk that we're weakening our stance on human rights issues in the pursuit of free trade deals? Thank you.
Evet, hiçbir ticaret insan hakkıyla
Well,
pazarlık konusu olmaz. Bir kere
Trade
bunu,
cannot be
bunu
an
herkesin
issue of
bilmesi
bargaining
lazım.
over
Onun
human
cevabını
lives.
Sayın Başbakan
I
verir.
mean, of course,
Benim
Prime Minister
söyleyeceğim
will
şey
give
şu,
the necessary answer to
yani
that question, but
bu,
let me first of all
mülteci sorununu
say
duvar
that
örmekle çözemeyiz.
you cannot
Uzun
solve this
vadede
issue of refugees by
bunun
putting up
sebeplerini
walls.
ortadan
You have to
kaldırmamız
eradicate
lazım.
the root
Bölgesel
causes
kalkınma
of this.
farklılıkları
You
ortadan
have to
kalkması
eradicate
lazım.
the
Bölgesel
regional discrepancies in terms of development.
çözümü
You
için
should settle the
Birleşmiş
regional
Milletler şemsiyesinde daha fazla
conflicts,
gayret
and
göstermemiz
there should be
lazım.
more effort under the
Yani
auspices of
siz
the United Nations.
duvar örersiniz,
So you can put up a wall,
duvar çözülmez,
and
birikir, o
next
duvarlar da yıkılır. Berlin
after
duvarı
a
da
certain
yıllarca
time, after
durdu,
certain
bir gün
accumulation,
yerle bir oldu.
that
Niye?
wall can collapse,
Çünkü
as in the case of the Berlin Wall.
değişimin önünde
Why?
durulamaz.
Because you cannot
Değişimi
stand against
yakalamak
change.
lazım.
You should
bölgesel
actually
sorunları
always go along with change,
halının
and
altına
you
süpürmekle
cannot
sorunları
turn a blind
çözemeyiz.
eye to
Sorunlar
the
üzerine
regional
gitmemiz
problems.
lazım, büyümeden
You
çözmemiz
should
lazım.
actually tackle those
Dolayısıyla tabii
problems, and
Amerika'nın
you should always
yeni
seek to
yönetiminin
settle
aldığı
those
kararların
problems.
içeriğini çok
Certain
bilmiyoruz tabii.
decisions are taken by
Kulaktan
the
duyma
new US
laflarla
administration, but we do not know the
değerlendirmek
depth
erken
of
bir
those
değerlendirme
statements,
olur.
depth of those
Ama asıl,
decisions. I mean, you
çözüm,
cannot have certain
sorunların
assessments on
esasına
hearsay, but you should always
sorunun ortaya çıkan kaynakları ortadan kaldırmaktır.
eradicate the root
Refah
causes
farkının
of any problems if you
azaltılması
really
lazım.
would like to
Küresel
settle that
refahın
problem. Global
adil
wealth
paylaşımın
needs to be shared
sağlanması
equally.
yönünde
This is
daha
also
çok
very
gayret
important, and we need to
göstermektir.
do even
Benim,
more to ensure this.
Bununla ilgili söyleyeceğim
That
Brexit konusu
would be my answer. When it
Birleşik
comes to
Krallığın
Brexit,
konusudur. Yani
Brexit is the issue of the United Kingdom.
İngiltere halkı,
It's a
İtalya,
domestic matter.
İskoçya,
Wales, Scotland,
İrlanda böyle
Northern
bir karar
Ireland,
verdiler. Onların
UK
kararına bizim laf söylememiz
had decided,
gerekmez ama
but it's not our
gümrük birliği
say to have a say on their
ikili
decision.
olarak
It is
buna
very
engel değil.
important
Avrupa Birliği
to
ile
note
gümrük
down the fact
birliğini
that having a customs
geliştirmek,
union
güncellemek
is
buna
here,
engel değil. Biz
or modernizing
nitekim,
customs union with the European
bu
Union
aylarda
here is
Avrupa Birliği ile gümrük birliğini
a barrier in front of
güncellemek
this.
için
At the moment,
görüşmelere
Turkey
başladık.
is
Aynı şekilde
has initiated certain
İngiltere
talks
ile
to
de
modernize
serbest ticaret
customs union, and
anlaşması
similarly, we have also
görüşmelerimizi eş
initiated.
zamanlı olarak yürüteceğiz.
We will also initiate simultaneously
prensip
our talks
olarak
with the United
dört
Kingdom for free
özgürlükten
trade
yanayız.
agreement.
Dünya dört
In principle,
özgürlüğe
we
eninde
are
sonunda gitmelidir.
always in favor of four
İnsanların
areas of
serbest
freedom.
dolaşımı,
One, free circulation
sermayenin
of
serbest
human
dolaşımı,
beings, free circulation of
hizmetlerin
capital,
serbest
free
dolaşımı,
circulation of
malların
services,
serbest
and free
dolaşımı.
circulation of
Bunun
goods. So,
sağlandığı oranda küresel huzur,
if we can
barış
ensure this, then
sağlanacak.
global
Bu mülteci
health,
meselesi ve
global wealth and
anlaşmazlıklar da
global peace
azalacak.
can be ensured, and we
Uzun
might
vadeli hedef
decrease
bütün
those
ülkeler için
areas
bu
of
olması
problems.
lazım
I think this
geldiğini
should be the
düşünüyorum.
long-term objective of all countries.
Just to follow up on that, as Prime Minister Yildrim was talking about Brexit, I mean, obviously it was a referendum for the people of the United Kingdom who've decided to leave the European Union. But I've been clear on many occasions since that decision was taken, that from the UK's point of view, we want to see a strong EU continuing. We want a good trade relationship with the continuing EU, and we want a good strategic partnership with the continuing member states of the European Union, and we want the European Union to maintain its strength. On the issue of trade, of course, I've mentioned a trade agreement with the European Union. We will be looking to increase the opportunities for trade with Turkey. There are already good investment streams between both countries, creating jobs in both countries. This is about bringing prosperity, bringing jobs, bringing wealth to both the United Kingdom and Turkey. And I believe that we can negotiate an agreement which will be positive and beneficial to both of us. And on the issue of human rights, yes, I did raise this issue today in my conversation with President Erdogan. And as I said earlier, the Prime Minister referred to the United Kingdom's position in relation to the coup on the 15th of July. I expect the Turkish government to maintain its democratic institutions, its rule of law and international human rights, as the government has undertaken to do.
And on the US?
Well, the United States is responsible for the United States policy on refugees. The United Kingdom is responsible for the United Kingdom's policy on refugees. And our policy on refugees is to have a number of voluntary schemes to bring Syrian refugees into the country, particularly those who are most vulnerable, but also to provide significant financial contribution to support refugees in countries surrounding Syria.
Evet, Ali Can.
Madam Prime Minister, my question is for you. As a leader of a country who's preparing to leave the European Union, what do you talk about to leaders of a country that's been trying to get in for several decades now? And my second question is on Cyprus. As a guarantor state country, what is your position on the Turkish military presence on the island? Thank you.
Well, on the issue of Cyprus, as you say, we are a guarantor alongside Turkey and Greece, and we are pleased to have seen negotiations coming so far. We want to see a settlement that is going to ensure the security and stability of Cyprus in the long term, as Prime Minister Yildrim has said, and a solution for Cyprus which is good for all of the people of Cyprus. That is what we will be working for. We've discussed that today here in both my conversations with the Prime Minister and with President Erdogan, and I think that settlement that ensures a secure and stable Cyprus for all its people is what we should all be working to. In relation to the Brexit issue, as I've just said, I mean, people of the United Kingdom took their decision. They wanted to come out of the European Union. They believed it was right for the UK to come out of the European Union. Other countries will stay within the European Union and other countries will wish to join the European Union. It's a matter for each country to determine what is best for it and its future. As I said, we want to see a continuing strong European Union. We want to have and expect to have a good trading relationship with the EU and a clear and good close strategic partnership with the EU in the future.
Ya nasıl bir şeyse giren de pişman
Well,
girmeyen
it's
de.
interesting. The one who is in and the one who is out are regretting.
Evet. Çimen. Hadi bakalım.
Benim sorum her iki başbakanı da olacak. Öncelikli olarak Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nden geliyorsunuz Sayın Bey. Sayın Donald Trump'ın güvenli bölgeyle ilgili bir açıklaması vardı. Bu Türkiye'nin en başından beri istediği güvenli bölge mi? Şayet öyle değilse Türkiye'nin terör örgütü olarak gördüğü PYD'ye de şemsiye sağlayacak bir güvenli bölge mi? Bununla ilgili bizimle bilgileri paylaşabilir misiniz? İkinci sorum da size olacak Sayın Bey. Özellikle de hem siz hem de Sayın Başbakan Suriye'de DAEŞ noktasında ortak mutabakat sağlandığını ve istihbarat alanında da paylaşım olacağını söylediniz. Özellikle El Baba dönük operasyonlarda Türkiye hava harekatı noktasında yalnız bırakılıyor ve bununla ilgili de her ortamda Türkiye bundan dolayı şikayetini dile getiriyor. Koalisyon güçleri neden Elbap'ta Türkiye'ye istediği hava desteğini sağlamıyor? Teşekkürler.
Well, first of all, we are providing support to Turkish forces, and one of the things that I've also discussed today is how we in the United Kingdom can provide further support to Turkey in the future in relation to this matter. On the question of the safe zones, and obviously this is an issue that has been raised by Turkey in the past, that has been looked at in the past. I think that what we should all want to do is to find a solution for Syria for the future. I believe that that solution should be a political transition away from President Assad. But we need to continue our efforts as an international community to find that solution for Syria, to deal with Daesh, and to provide for a peaceful and stable Syria in the future. Now, I think we should continue to look at all options as we do that.
Evet, teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.